everybody is willing to do what you do. Doesn't matter who you are. Somebody is out there willing to do it better than you do, driven more to do it better than you do. And so if you're in the second bucket, you better drop your fucking ego if you're still here and find a way to surround yourself with people that are really going to help you lift and grow and develop and become the best version of yourself.
Welcome to the On-Site Podcast. We chat with contractors, educators, industry professionals about the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. So without further ado, let's fucking get into it.
All right, welcome back to the On-Site Podcast. It's just me today. So if you were hoping there's going to be a guest, there isn't. It is just me. And I'm going to be ripping through some points of interest that so many of you have been asking me to kind of discuss more in more detail. And so I'm excited to dig into that. First order of business, okay? In 25 days, anybody that is in Vancouver, okay, near Fraser Valley, or near Chilliwack specifically, in 25 days on July 24th, we are going to be hosting the Elite Builder Society Contractor Seminar. Okay, it's going to be a growth seminar specifically for service-based contractors that are focused on growing their freaking business. If you're serious about generating leads, pursuing growth within your organization and your team, and just organizing the fundamentals of your construction company, you definitely want to attend this seminar. We've got some great speakers, some of the best hub hosts from in the Elite Builder Society are going to be there live in person. It's going to be a great experience. Plus, we're going to feed you breakfast and lunch, okay, for literally only $97. So you can either go into my bio, my personal bio, or you can go into the Elite Builder Society bio. Now, I'm recording this on May 12th, and so this is airing on June 29th. And that means in 25 days, this thing's going to be sold out. If it's not already, at this present time, right now on May 12th, it's 25% sold out. VIP is sold out. So if you want to be a part of this, you want to change your life and your business, for $97, we're going to feed you and we're going to teach you. Okay. Now, we're going to move on. These are going to be some of the points of interest that we're going to be talking about at the seminar. Not just me. Obviously, I've got other speakers there. Brady, Joshua, Carrie, and a few other special guests that are going to be talking about AI are also going to be there. So make sure to tune into this episode so you can get a feel for what this experience could be like. And if you haven't bought tickets, go into the bio and purchase today. Okay? Now, moving along. Now, one of the most important things, one of the things that we talk about quite frequently inside of the Elite Builder Society, if you're just sending your quotation or your proposal or your estimate via email with no framework, with no context, then you're going to be cooked. You're literally going to be cooked because the transformation of conversion takes place in person, right? When you present your estimate, let's just say hypothetically that somebody's sending you an estimate for something. Think about it. What happens when you look at that estimate in your inbox? You look at it, you engage, you respond, you think, and then you're like a process, and it's like qualify or disqualify. Like that's how it's happening. It's literally in minutes. You're qualifying or disqualifying that estimate, and then you'll get back into it and review it a little bit more. And what's happening is your brain is actually talking you out of whatever that service is, even if you really need it. Like if you really, really need it, then obviously you're going to be pushed a little bit harder. But if you kind of need it, okay, or you don't kind of need it, maybe kind of need it, your brain is actually going to be psychologically talking you out of it. And so this is happening without that person across from you to defend themselves. And this is why you never send your quotes via email, because the client is finding their objections in real time about how they don't want to work with you, about why they don't want to work with you. And you're not there to defend yourself. You're not there to help deal with their objections. Okay. So one of the most important things you can do, we're going to talk about this a little bit more today. One of the most important things you can do is frame the outcome. Okay. When you meet with your client, when you talk about whatever it is, the service that they're doing, whatever they're looking at getting done, you want to make sure that towards the end of the meeting, after you've got all the fundamentals, you got the measurements, got the details, you got all the bits and pieces, so you can build a high quality proposal that fits their needs and expectations. Okay. And we're going to talk a little bit more about this too as we progress, but you get to the point of the end of the call or the meeting, and you say to them, okay, cool. I've got everything I need. Now, is there a time that works for you for us to sit down and discuss? Now you can do one of two things. You can send it via Zoom. Okay. You can schedule a Zoom meeting or in person, depending on how bad you need it. That's what I say. In person is always better. But if you've got too much work going on, you got a bunch of shit going on and you're like, I can't do the in-person, it's an hour away or whatever it might be, whatever excuse there might be, schedule a Zoom call, 30 minutes, review it with them, send it to them in real time while you're on call with them and deal with their objections. Find the angle that you need to in order to convert them. I promise you, if you did this, you would close 10 or 20 or 30% higher each and every day that you look at work. Every time you walk in to look at a job is time away from you and your family. Time away from your business. What is the fucking point of looking at something if you're not going to get it? What's the point? There's literally no point. So stop losing leads. Stop killing your opportunities by sending emails with quotes and start focusing on doing it in person, because this will convert at the highest level possible. So this message right now is for any remodeling contractor. So if you're a remodeling contractor, general contractor, and you're doing a lot of things yourself, you're trying to build a team to do it all yourself, it's not going to work. Okay. Andrew, one of the contractors, he's been on the podcast. He was just on the podcast not that long ago. So he's up in Clear Lake, Iowa. Okay. And so for the longest time, Andrew actually did a lot of the work himself. He had a team of people internally that did all the framing, the drywall, the paint, the finishing, all the things. They subbed out the plumbing, the electrical, ticketed things, so to speak. So Andrew, him and his team, they did everything, right? And so what was challenging for him was he had so much work in front of him. He had so many clients that wanted this work completed, and he just couldn't see past the fact that how's he going to do all this work? Like, he's got one job, one opportunity, all these guys. How is he going to hire all these guys? They're limited with what they can do. And I told him, I was like, man, you have to work under a sub model. Let's change this. Let's flip the script. Let's manage these leads that you're turning away each and every day. And so he ran his business like this for years. And right away, in that minute, he changed everything. Okay. And he was just on the podcast not that long ago. And the other day he shared with me that in the last 2 months, he's generated nearly $1 million in revenue, which is more than he generated all last year by implementing this system. And here's a couple things that happen through this whole process. His client is happy, okay, because the work is getting done faster. The work is actually getting done better because the people that are doing it are professionals in their industry, and he's capable of taking on more opportunities. Now, you have to stop thinking like a contractor that does the work, like bring your hammer out to do the work, and you need to start thinking like a business owner. If you start to think like a business owner and you start to find the appropriate people to do the right tasks, you can grow and scale your business 10 times faster. Even if you're a subcontractor, let's say you're an electrical contractor, okay, or an HVAC contractor, and you're trying to grow your business, you don't have to hire everyone. They all don't have to be employees. They can be subs. You can have internal subs onto your team to help you with the ebbs and flow of the opportunities. Build a great comp structure, which we can help you with. If you build a great comp structure, you can activate these individuals so they feel like they're a part of something. They are getting paid for whatever it is that they're doing. And there's this incredible opportunity that exists that helps you grow your business, right? So it doesn't matter what you're doing. You have to stop doing the work. You have to get the right people in there to help you do it faster and more efficiently and more effectively for your clients. So I don't know what the real reason why contractors struggle with taking action. I brought that statement in this year, the take action statement. I'm trying to just encourage people to take action. When I first got into coaching, okay, I thought, there's going to be hundreds, if not thousands of people all across North America that are going to want to hear what I've gone through. They're going to want to hear how to avoid the things that I've been through, or they're going to want to experience the things that I've been able to experience, because I've lived both sides of this. I've lived the winning. I've lived the losing, right? And so I thought there would be just a lineup of freaking people, and there wasn't. There was a few right at the gate, but it was just like starting a normal business. It was fucking hard. It was challenging, complex, and kind of discouraging at times. And I really don't know why people don't take action. One of the things that I really believe is that it's a part of this industry. And unfortunately, the stigma that asking for help is just a bit cringe, so to speak, is ruining it for so many people. Like, I have people that I've been able to work with, just like Andrew, like I just talked about, build more in 2 months, $1 million in 2 months than he did all last year, because he implemented the things that I talked to him about the next day. And so many people are struggling with just taking action because they're afraid. They don't know what the experience could look like. They just don't know, and so we are trying our best to make this as affordable by, creating different types of packages. We've got the community. It's literally only $49. That's the starting point. $49. You spend more on dumb shit than you do on actually growing your business. And so I think really what we're going to just hyper focus on doing is just ramming the results in front of people. You might have been listening to this right from the beginning, right from the very first podcast, from, day one, and still not taking action. And that's a reflection on yourself. Like, go to your family and tell them, fuck, I'm sorry, we can't do all these things because I'm too fucking lazy. I'm not willing to do what I need to do, and unfortunately I have to get a little bit like ignorant in this situation, because it's so frustrating for me, because if you took action, if you took advantage of these small opportunities and you just asked a question, you'll get an answer. And sometimes the answer isn't the answer that you want, but it's the answer that you need in order to understand what your next move is. Your family deserves that. You deserve that. Your kids deserve that. Think about it. 5 or 10 years from now, when you could have taken action, the guys that we work with, they will be building and are building multi-million-dollar companies with clarity, with confidence, with clear direction. Okay. I've scoured the internet for some of the best people in this industry, people that I wish I had in my business. Right from day one, I wish I had these people in my business from day one. It would have changed my life for me and my family. But now I've lived this life for so long that I've dedicated my entire future to helping you. So this is a bit of a plug to just really focus on understanding that there's no reaction from not taking action. You will never see a result if you don't fucking do something about it.
Hey, we've got an ad here. Make sure to pay attention. What's up, guys? Are you a contractor or business owner looking to take things to the next level? Well, I've got something for you. The Elite Builder Society is a community that helps contractors grow and scale. For $49 a month, you can have access to 20 group coaching calls. Look, you're probably wondering, how am I going to show up to 20 calls, Brandon? That's a lot. And yeah, it is a lot for $49 a month. But every call is recorded so you can watch it at your leisure. But you get the best experience when you're live on the call with us. Okay, at the end of every webinar, there will be a Q&A where you can ask the industry expert questions that you can implement into your business. Look, if you're ready to take things to the next level for $49 a month, go to ebsworks.com and register today. I look forward to seeing you inside the community.
So why believe me? Why take my word for it? You don't have to. You literally don't. The internet is a big place. You can go find somebody else that can help you. Or maybe you think that can help you. I think the reason why so many people work with me is because they understand that I'm dedicated to their success. I'm dedicated. I don't care, where you're at. I don't care how embarrassed you are. I don't care what you're going through. I care on a different level. I'm not going to look down on you at all. And I never have with anyone. I've been to hell and back. And I've lived such an incredible life. And I've also lived a very challenging life. I've experienced some of the hardest hardships, in life. And my kids got to see that. My kids are experiencing that in some way, shape, or form. And so, you don't have to take my word for it, but I am literally dedicated to the people that I work with, and the people that I work with are generating results. And so take it for what it's worth. So can you, if you're willing to take action, if you're willing to be the guy at the front of the room with your hand up, ready to ask questions. I believe those are the people that succeed. Those are the people that I've noticed have transformed their lives and their business for them and their families, only because they're at the front asking questions. I get it's fucking weird. I get it's uncomfortable. Ask some other dude about how you can do whatever. I get it. But until you've done it, until you've been on the other side, you can't judge it. You can't do anything until you try it. And I slow play it too. Like, we'll build a relationship, That's why people trust me, because we work together. It's more than just a call every week. There are texts, there are voice notes. It is personal. I am literally there to support you. Okay, so earlier on at the beginning of the podcast there, I was talking about that framework where you don't sell the job by sending an email. And so I'm going to share some gold with you right now on what you can do to frame your next move and generate an outcome that yields a successful conversion with a project, whatever it might be. Now, this customer, whatever it is that you're doing in any sales transaction, the most important element is framing the next move. There's this space where there's confusion for you and the client. There's confusion on what the next move is. There's confusion on what to do. And notoriously, people talk about the follow-up. It's all about the follow-up. I think the follow-up is a fucking swear word. You should never follow up. If you frame everything properly, there is no follow-up. There is your next step, right? It's an organized next step. It's a scheduled next step. So if you implement a framework that includes a next step thought process versus, next move and then potentially follow up in 3 to 4 days, you'll convert at a higher level. I promise you. So this specific framework that we're going to be talking about right now is, it's nothing crazy. Honestly, it's just simple conversation, right? When you have a conversation with a client about whatever it is, you want to make sure that at the end of that conversation, you curate the next step. For example, let's say that the client says, okay, cool, this looks great. Just email me that quote and we'll go from there. Awesome. I mean, it's great that you love what we're doing here. And I'm excited about this opportunity to work with you. But we do something a little bit different over here. We don't just send our quotes off to our clients and kind of pray that we can get the work. We want to make sure that we're aligned and that we're a good fit for each other. And so what I'll do is I'll actually take the information that I've gathered from this meeting and I'll build out my proposal. And I'd like to schedule a meeting with you to discuss this. Does that work for you? Oh, that's a little bit different. Yeah, it is. We find that it helps answer questions when you receive the proposals so that you're not sitting there in confusion. And we're not just sitting there waiting to see if you're going to respond to us, to determine whether or not we want to work together. Because I want to learn real quick if I'm a good fit for you and if this is the vibe that you're looking for, or I want to make those adjustments in real time to make sure that it accommodates your budget, accommodates your expectations, accommodates your needs, right? So that language that, creates a better outcome, a better opportunity, and generally will close at a higher level if you frame things like that. Always understand that you can always position the next move. If the client's like, oh, I've got some other contractors that are coming to look at it. Awesome. When are they coming? When do you expect them to show up? Well, I don't know exactly. Kind of devaluing that other contractor because most contractors aren't scheduled. Most contractors aren't organized. And you might be one of those ones right now, and we can help you fix that. But these people that they're waiting for to build this proposal or this estimate or whatever it is that they're doing, they're probably not going to have it when they say they're going to have it. They're probably not going to get it when they said they're going to get it. And so that's going to give you another notch up on top of them. So the response is, okay, awesome. No, I get it. This is an investment. I want to make sure that you make a great investment. I want to support you through that transaction in any way I can. Even if I'm not a good fit, I want to identify that real quick and maybe I can point you in a different direction. So, do you think it's safe to say that these guys should probably have their estimates to you by Monday? I think it should come by Monday. Okay, awesome. Well, let's do this. Before you make a decision, let's schedule a meeting for Tuesday, okay, to review their proposals if you want to share whatever you want to share with me. And we'll cross-reference the changes that you maybe want me to make to my proposal, if I can make any changes at all to accommodate your needs and expectations. And then we can talk about next steps. Does that sound good? But just before you make a decision, I want to make sure that you're aligned with your decision, and I want to support you. What this is going to do is it's going to give you an opportunity for those other contractors to fail. It's going to open the door for you to close them further down the line. Because sometimes it takes a couple conversations, couple meetings, depending on the size of this project, to actually convert them. Now, I don't know what other objections you're dealing with. Okay. I'm not going to go down a road of objections. You can message me a list of objections that you're struggling with, and maybe I'll put together an episode on objection handling based on the feedback that you guys are sharing with us in the comments. I really appreciate your support on this as well. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share these videos. We've got this on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Spotify, Apple. Literally, it's everywhere. So make sure to continue to follow along. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about AI, okay? Now, keep in mind that I'm recording this podcast on May 12th, and it is currently June 29th, or the week of June 29th. Now, what technology looks like today and what technology looks like on the day this is going live is probably already different. And that is the speed that you need to be concerned about. That's how fast things are happening. Who would have thought that you could have recorded a podcast, a month away from when it aired, and the time would have changed, the information would have changed, the tools and systems would have changed. Right now, inside of the Elite Builder Society, we built a specific dedicated community that is inside of it. It's a separate community. It's $97 a month to learn about how to integrate Claude, to learn about how to integrate ChatGPT with your construction management software, with other tools, with recorders, with other programs, with other systems, so that you can really optimize your business. Think about your business from a buckets perspective. Okay, so how many buckets does your business have? It has a sales bucket, as an accounting bucket, as a communication bucket, has actually doing the work, has a client management bucket, has so many different buckets. But actually, how many of those buckets are actually doing the work? Like actually physically like touching something and doing it. Okay. There's only a couple. There's only like 2 or 3 buckets that are actually like physically doing the thing, right? That need to be in front of the client, that actually need to do the work. The majority of those other tasks, those are just communication tools. Those are communication tactics that can all be managed and taken care of by AI. And so AI is not taking your job. It is making your job more efficient. When you show up on job sites, whatever it is that you're doing. I don't know what industry you're in listening to. It's fine. Let's say you're a plumber, electrician, a general contractor, a drywaller, a remodeling, a builder, whatever you're doing. When you start on site, you are building a roadmap, right? A system and a strategy to complete a task. Your job strategy or your work strategy for that day is mapped out in your head or documented. If you're really organized, it's documented. Now, what are you trying to do in that moment? You're trying to create efficiency. You're trying to create opportunities where you can exceed your client's expectations, you can deliver a better product, and you can generate more, cash for yourself or for your business, or, create a more successful outcome. Do you think that if there were ways that you could do that more efficiently, you would probably look at those ways? Yes. If the answer is yes, then that's what AI is. AI is essentially everything in the front end. Okay, all those communication buckets that we just talked about, that's what the focus is. That's what the solution is. And that's what we're sharing with, and that's what we're teaching inside of the Elite Builder side. If you want to be a part of that group, just shoot me a DM, okay, and we'll see where we're at. There will be a buy-in to join that group because we have already built lessons, already built training modules that you're not going to get access to, okay, without paying for them. So nothing's free in this world. Welcome to society. We're trying to build a business just like you're trying to build a business. We don't work for free, okay? I'm not paid by CBC or anything like that. I actually have to work, and this is how I work. So pay us for our services and we can help you grow your business.
What's up, guys? I hope you're enjoying this episode of the On-Site Podcast. So here's the deal. We want to grow this show and we need your help. It's simple. Pay the tax, share the show. That's it. Let's get back into it.
So the AI group that we're building, we call it the Claude Code Integration Group. Maybe the name will change. But what we're doing is basically building a roadmap on how to implement this stuff into your business. We're uncovering different tools, different systems. There are lots of different business that do integration with AI and all kinds of different stuff. The difference is construction is very specific, right? The way you approach your clients is very specific. The way you manage your projects is very specific. Everything is very specific. How can some random company that does all the things actually give you support within this space in an effective way that it actually helps you understand exactly what these tools are and how to implement them? They don't, they can't, but we can, because we work alongside contractors every day. We get to see the problems, we get to see the challenges, we get to see the struggles, and we get to help them find the solutions to those problems. So that is why I believe this group is a great opportunity for you, okay? We found some very intelligent AI tech savvy people, some of which that have already exited out of their companies and started other AI tech stacks. So if you want to learn about this group, you want to learn about the tech stack that we share inside of this community, go into the bio, $97. You can be a part of it. If you're not in the community, it's $146 a month. That'll get you access to the community and the AI group. At the end of the day, okay, you don't have to take my word for it. You don't. You can literally do all of this by yourself. You can continue to do what you've been doing because I'm sure it works for you. I'm sure it's great. But at the end of the day, what I've learned is that I wish I had a mentor. You know, I had people in my life. I had my grandpa, super fun. I remember pissing around in the garage. You know, I learned how to build a whistle out of a wooden spool of thread. Taught me how to do that. Taught me how to slow down when cutting the grass so I could take pride in the work that I'm doing. You know, taught me a lot of really important fundamental lessons. Taught me how to be a man. And so I'm proud that I had that mentor in my life. I had a big brother. My father wasn't in my life, as you know, many of you maybe heard, and you know that sucked. Honestly, like it was pretty fucking shitty. There were times where I would like beg my mom to take me to my dad. You know, why? I was so confused why a person would walk away from a boy. Why would you walk away from somebody and just leave them? And so because of that, my mom, you know, knew that I was thirsting for that male direction, that mentorship, that guidance. And so found me a big brother. Not easy. Wasn't easy to find, honestly. I went through several, and some of them were not great. They were fucking horrible, to be honest. And so if you are a big brother, hats off to you. You're doing the work of an angel, honestly. My big brother was a huge support in my life at a young age, you know, a little bit of a father figure, but not a father figure, you know. And so he was there. We traveled, we did a bunch of stuff, and actually we still briefly talk a little bit on Facebook, which is awesome. He's just up here in Alberta as well, so not even that far away. And you know, we've seen each other in the last couple of years, and you know, he's a special person to me. And then I've also had my friends' fathers. You know, my best friend, his dad owned a pretty successful, or I guess no longer owns. His sons took it over, but owned a really successful, you know, distribution facility, and taught me a lot of like business elements, and I really learned a lot from him. And there were several other people in my life that, you know, really played that male role, but nobody specific, nobody that was like dedicated with exactly what I was doing. And I think that was the biggest struggle that I faced when building my business for that, you know, that first 5 to 10 years of startup. I just didn't know what the fuck I was doing. You know, and I had nobody to ask, and there was just nobody out there that really did what I'm doing right now. And that's primarily why I do what I do right now, is because I know it didn't exist when I needed it. I didn't know, you know, how to market this business in the way that it really, you know, converts and is the most economical. And I didn't understand that there was a sales framework. I didn't understand that there was psychology behind all of this stuff. I didn't understand that there was specific accounting tactics. I didn't understand so many different things. So I just wung it for the beginning. And then slowly my failures created my outcomes, which then shaped my successes. And that's a fucking miserable way of building a business. I can promise you. Learning through failure is not good. You don't have to put yourself through misery. You can use somebody else's misery. Okay. You can use somebody else's success to incorporate into your business to really help you get clear direction and clear understanding on where you're looking to go. At the end of the day, you don't have to work with me. You don't even have to work with a mentor. You don't have to work with a coach. You can think all you want. You can continue to do what you're trying to do, okay, and fail, and then learn from your mistakes and then make changes and slowly grow your business. Or you can run alongside somebody, grab some information and some knowledge and some value with what they've gone through and implement those changes into your business. Take what you can from people. Be like a sponge, but also be very, very respectful with people and their time. The people that I find that I give the most to are the ones that kind of give me the most in return. Like, I really want to work with people that want to work with me. And I don't enjoy working with people that don't give that same level of attention, don't give that same level of energy. Like, I think some of the best leaders, can be the most selfless and the most open about opportunity, about change, about direction, about clarity, and willing to share all of this with somebody else, willing to, to drop their shit and support somebody else. Those are great mentors. Those are great leaders. And the world is losing them. The world doesn't have as many. There's lots of fucking coaches online. I don't know where all these people are coming from. It just seems like every day there's a new coach. But I've been doing this for a long time. I've been in the industry for over 20 years. I've managed well over $100 million worth of work in the last year. I think our number was over 500 million in revenue closed with our community members and with the people that we support. So alone, we are converting and moving lots of different projects at any given point. And my job in that whole thing is to just support them. Be there to support them. Be there to guide them. Be there to share things that we've learned. And even things that I've learned in the past couple of years from coaching, just from being a coach online. I've learned so many different things just from being that guy online that it's really given me this edge that I think is really unique and it's really special and it's mine. And so, I think you want to work with somebody that has the confidence that they can push you forward. And I think that you want to work with somebody that you can vibe with, and there's an energy that you can really relate to them. And I can really relate to wherever you are in your business, whether you're drowning because you got too many jobs coming in and you don't know how to manage them and you don't know who to hire and you don't, what to do next. I can help you wherever you probably are in your business. And so if it's not me, find someone that gives you that confidence that you can move forward with them. So you're either a part of two people. Okay. You're a part of a group of people that are willing to take action. Okay. After listening to this podcast, that are willing to move forward after listening to this podcast, or you're in a different group that is not ready, that is not willing, that is not interested. And you're probably not still here, okay, if you're in the second bucket. If you're in the first bucket and you're still here, I want you to ask yourself, why not? Why not now? Like, why not now? Why not today? Why not? Like, what if I don't? What if I don't try this? What if I don't do these things? What if I don't work with Brandon and his team? What will it look like? You don't know, because you don't know what that will look like until you try, until you take action. So the likelihood that you're in the second bucket where you're not willing to do this and still being here is unlikely. Okay. That type of person listens to the first 5 or 10 minutes of this and then thinks that their ego is so inflated that they don't need this shit and they move on. And if you're in the first bucket, okay, that competitor of yours, that guy that isn't here right now, and you take action, we will walk over him very quickly. He won't even fucking see it coming. We will take his work away from him. Everybody is willing to do what you do. Doesn't matter who you are. Somebody is out there willing to do it better than you do, driven more to do it better than you do. And so if you're in the second bucket, you better drop your fucking ego if you're still here and find a way to surround yourself with people that are really going to help you lift and grow and develop and become the best version of yourself. And if you're in the first bucket, try it out. Come to one of our calls for free, literally for free, Monday or Friday, completely for free. Either myself or Brady, the other coach inside the community, will be there to show you what it's like. Generally those calls are pretty small, 5 to 10, 20 people, not a lot of people, not crazy. You're encouraged to ask questions. You're encouraged to come with your mic on. You're encouraged to come with your camera on and ask. Bring a fucking question. Be the first guy at the room with his hand up. Bring your problems. We'll help you create solutions. Okay. That's all for this episode. I just want to start by saying thank you again for supporting this podcast. It means the world to me. We're on episode 55, which is fucking crazy. It's crazy. I can't wait till we get to episode 100. And again, in 25 days, okay, Chilliwack Contractor Growth Seminar. Go into my bio, buy a ticket, $97. We have people flying in from all across North America to experience this event. And if you're local to Chilliwack or Abbotsford, It's literally a drive. Okay. For $97, we're going to feed you and we're going to teach you exactly how to help you grow your business. So that's all for today. Appreciate you. Get up, get moving. Don't be lazy. All right, that concludes this episode of the On-Site Podcast. Remember, if you enjoyed this episode, please pay the tax, share the show. Guys, if you want to be a part of the Elite Builder Society, all you got to do is pay $49 a month. That's it. $49 a month. You get 20 group coaching calls every month. Okay? Go to ebsworks.com and register today. If you enjoyed the show, please pay the tax and share the show.